welcome everyone. I'm Rebecca Saltman and I'm here with my dear friend Jade Rader, and this is the EMPATH Insights Summit. We noticed some time ago that there was a gap when it came to learning about being a sensitive and empathic person in this world, so we decided to do something about it. We started talking with other amazing empathic people and learned so very much that we felt we needed to share it with the world. We love what we do so much. We get to talk to the most amazing people in the process. We learn so much every time. Today, we get to talk to Deborah Reid, yay! One of our delightful co-authors. She, of course, is in our You, Empath You anthology, launching on April 28th, 2022. Deb shared a really great story with us, and maybe we'll even get to talk about it today. So I'm thrilled about the opportunity to talk to her because she's got stuff that I get to learn. Let me share a brief introduction first. Deborah Reid is currently a circle leader, medical intuitive with multifaceted gifts as a Reiki master teacher, Akashic guide and reader, clairvoyant, and medium. She refers to herself as a Christian mystic, expanded by the love of the divine Christ consciousness she embodies. She does not like the boxes or titles we give ourselves for these abilities. They are all aspects of our original selves. She revels in helping Christians to stay out of the fear when divine shifts occur. Deb respects and works with many paths to God, Source, Spirit, and sees the connection that unite all of us. Deb has been open for 54 years and professionally assisting others since 2001, while continuing her own evolutionary journey and self-healing. Welcome, Deb. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hi there. I'm thrilled to death to be here. It's just fantastic what you're doing.
Oh, yay.
It's
I'm
wonderful.
So happy. Jade, do you mind getting us started?
I am excited to get us started. Deb, your life has had some personal roadblocks that you've overcome. Will you share a few of those with the readers so they understand? And you mentioned you're a Christian mystic. If you want to tie that together, that may really help them get a great feel for you.
In my chapter in the book, I put a story in there about the first time I had an experience with God, and an actual direct experience with God. And so you'll have to read the book to read that one. But I am a storyteller, and as the Bible is written, we all have stories in our life. That is exactly what our lives are. Block after block, moment after moment, we're building and creating a story. In the end, we get to look back at these stories and learn what we learned from them as we're going through it as well. But the roadblocks that I have had in this lifetime have been so many. I mean, it's like 4 lives in one. And I love each and every one of them after the fact, but getting through them sometimes can be challenging. So for me, always referring back to God, which was my first awareness on this planet, in this lifetime, I should clarify, has been my comfort zone. I go out of it, but I always come back to the same thing. So when I found this when I was riding on a motorcycle, and we bounced off another motorcycle on a child's toy run. Bounced off another motorcycle. The curb was coming. We were doing 40 miles an hour. The curb was coming right for our bike. I mean, we were riding right into it. And what I said was, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, help me now. We hit, we flipped, we went 40 feet in the air, landed down on a bed of rock. And it felt like I jumped on a bed. And I had nothing but my clothing on. That was just, wow, your base where you go to. And I knew then and there, that's my base where I go to. And so being a Christian mystic, I didn't even know there was such a thing until I found out about St. Teresa. And then I was like, well, I didn't know anybody told me about this woman. And she was a mystic that was set up with her own convent and went into ecstasy speaking with Christ. And I was just, oh my gosh, okay, that's me. Finally, I fit somewhere. But with the roadblocks, I have died twice. I have lived all over this state. I have sold everything and just moved as I heard it's time to move, go here, go there. On a wing of prayer and everything I could load in my car, I did. And there was always another greatest adventure. Every day I wake up to the next greatest adventure. And
oh, sorry.
that's okay. Did you have a question?
Oh, I do. I mean, Deb, you've had so many years of experience. I mean, look, all of these things that you've just described. Have you had, I mean, tell us a little bit about those closest to you dismissing what you say is nonsense, because what you just said, in fact, like about bouncing off rock, and it might sound like nonsense to people. Can you tell us what that experience has taught you?
It's taught me that not everyone is open. Not everyone is able to even fathom the things that I speak of. I can only tell my story as the truth as it is. Many people don't want to hear it, especially those closest to you. A lot of times don't want to. And these things have been going on since I was in 5th grade. And so even my son being kidnapped and by his father, I sent him to visit his father. He was kidnapped 1.5 years. A man 3,000 miles away, a man in a grocery store line overheard another man talking, and he was going to turn my son over to social services because his father had abandoned him. And the man standing behind him tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Are you talking about," I won't reveal my son's name, but this young man? And he said, "Yes." He said, "I'm his grandfather," of which he wasn't, but he knew how to get in touch with my ex-mother-in-law. And so he was able to rescue my son 3,000 miles away, when all of the information that I gave and everything just never, private detectives never did it. Things happen that nobody can understand how they happen in my life. And that goes for all of us. And we oftentimes we pray, and then, or we ask. And then when it happens, we forget that we put all that information out there and just think, oh, how lucky you are, or what a break it is. And that's the average human mindset. Unless you're someone that these things occur to over and over and over again, and you start seeking answers and trusting. And as soon as you can get that point of trusting, you just have to go with it. The best thing is to stay with it. Don't let those who say no and put it down, or it can't possibly be, or you're silly, or that's not what happened. Ignore it and just don't even tell people that can't understand, because it will cause you to continually go back and reflect and question what it is you're receiving. And you don't want that. You want to keep moving forward. And that means often your closest, nearest, and dearest, which can make you feel like you're just a stranger walking in this family.
Wow,
But
Deb.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So, you talked about trust, and you alluded to how self-doubt can be built because other people may say what you know is truth for you. So, trusting your gut, you talk about that in the chapter, right? So, following your gut intuition and guidance, why is that so important?
At one point, I had done this all on my own. I'd gone to church after church after church. The first time I died, and nobody could give me an answer of the white light experience. They shuffled me out of the doors as soon as possible. Why wasn't it? Why didn't I see this? Why wasn't it this? The way I was taught. And I went through years of that. So I didn't know anybody in the spiritual realm, in the psychic realm at all for 25 years. And anyone that I spoke to that wasn't thought I was nuts. So it was that desire to know. So I researched and I found with my comfort zone a spiritual minister who had been doing this for 30 years. And I went to his opening group, and he was writing on the board up front. And he said, you can't know something until you believe it. And I sat there and I looked at him, and I had had knowings for over 30 years at this point in time. So to me, belief is a mental construct, and knowing is a spiritual construct. It's just a deeper level of just, it is what it is, what it is. And so I questioned him after this, and he said, well, it's impossible. You have to believe it in order to know it. And I said, no, because I receive knowing. It's not something I'm doing. I just receive it. And he threw me for a loop and told me I was wrong. I needed his classes. And I took his classes. They tried to pigeonhole me into, are you clairvoyant? Are you this? Are you that? Well, I had received all of those gifts. And even in the spiritual groups, I wasn't welcome because I didn't believe. So you can put yourself, and I had followed my gut instinct in the beginning when I was talking to him, instead of trying to express to him or explain to him what I was experiencing and how I experienced it. I'd have walked out of that class and stayed completely where I was, but it took me years to come back to the point where I had been, because I kept doubting and doubting and questioning everything that was going on again, instead of living in the knowing and just experiencing.
Deb, something that we share is that, being believed is hard, right? And you believe that connecting with the seventh is key. Can you elaborate on what the seventh is and why you believe in that? Because, I believe you. So let me know more.
Well, I found meditation. That worked great until it didn't. Until I was too busy in life and I wasn't getting to it, going back to it, and staying focused with it on a daily basis has always been a challenge of mine. So one night, just recently, I was laying in bed, and I know that in meditation, the seventh chakra is an observational point. You want to stay up there, even in the world. When things are happening, if I keep my concentration in the seventh, and I observe what's happening all around me with everyone, like you're going to a party and you're just kind of there and you observe all the landscape. You make no judgment. You just kind of look around and see what's going on around you, getting your bearings and all of that. If you stay there, you're likely to stay out of judgment and not get involved in other people's drama. And it's a very simple, easy trick to do. Several weeks ago, and this was just recent, I was laying in bed and I was praying goodnight. And I said, show me where I would love to know where my soul was created at. And boom, instant. There was a beam of light that came up from my heart, out the top of my head, all the way to this star that was being formed, like you see on science programs, with this star and all the colors, and it was so beautiful. And my awareness was hovering there. And if I'd have gone into it, I'd have seen, but I said, okay, this is enough. And I came back down. And as I came down, my consciousness followed this beam of light that had every iridescent color and colors that aren't even on this planet in it. And it was, a prism of about that wide around, and from my perspective. And as it went down into my heart, came down through my root and into the center of the earth, came back up. And then I saw my feet on the ground, and all I saw was this beam of light. I'll make it small, but it was huge. Was this beam of light with me floating somewhere around here, and my little feet had magnets on the bottom. And we are not just held here by gravity, but by magnetic force as well. And this is my space in the world. And each one of us has one of these, I was told. And so the seventh is where the information comes in. The seventh is where you are at, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to reside, not in the world and not out of it. But that's where the purity of things come into you, without judgment, without question. And it's fun to stay there.
Beautiful, Deb. Thank you so much for explaining that to us. And I've got a different question. How does someone know if they're on the right path for themselves?
How do they know if they're on the right path? If you feel it in your body, it's that gut emotion. When I was shown this art, or this beam of light, I was also shown that there is a light that is in the stomach, behind the stomach, that gut feeling that we get. There's a light there, there's a chakra there, and it's lit up. And that is your first response, most people's first response. Or you'll be in a situation where all of a sudden a word in a sentence will grab your ear. And you're like, And if you stop and pay attention, if it doesn't feel good when that happens, throw it away. Find the next path. Open up and say, okay, that's not quite right for me. So go on. Being a vegetarian is not quite right for me. It's quite right for many other people. But being less doesn't mean you're less than because you're not. And that's what we are taught here. You're either like me or you're different and you don't belong here. So it's really important that you stay with what is you, what is your comfort zone, because your tribe will find you. I don't advertise. I don't go out anywhere. People find me. I really don't. It's like people find me that need me, that want to talk to me, communicate. That's it. Just stay true to who you are and what your experiences are in all things.
So beautiful, Deb. Like I agree wholeheartedly. Find your tribe, yeah.
Yes.
So here's another wondering for me. What does living from the heart star mean, and why is it important? You're on mute, my love.
Along with this beautiful beam I was shown, the end result was the light went back up and down, and then my heart exploded. It was like it's exploded with the most beautiful white gold light, so powerful that it blew out everywhere. And it was remain in the heart star. Live your life from the heart star. Don't shut off your emotions. I thought in order to become realized, I had to shut off my emotions. Well, that's not true. And I spent years trying to do that. Many years ago, I asked God how we were all connected. And this goes with the heart star. And I asked how we were connected, didn't get an answer, got my purse, went with my husband to Costco, walking across the parking lot. All of a sudden, there's a white beam of light going from one heart to another, to another, to another, to all these strangers everywhere in the parking lot, broad daylight. And I could see this. And I just stopped. And my husband backed me up, knowing I was seeing something, backed me up to stand on the curb by the tree instead of being in the middle of traffic. And he's like, what? And I told him, I said, that's how we're all connected. We are all connected from this invisible thread through our hearts. All hearts are connected as one. It doesn't matter anything about who or what you are, how you look, how you dress, nothing. We are all connected through the heart. And this is why it's so important to live from that heart, to have compassion, to have understanding, and to just, we're all one through that. There's one heart, and that heart is connected inside of us to that light, going up to where we were created from. And it's just beautiful, beautiful. And when you can live from your heart, you won't have regrets. You won't.
Wow. Beautiful, Deb. What would you say to empaths who put everyone else's wants and needs before themselves and everything else in their life?
That's a big one. And I have done that forever. I ended up homeless for 3 months because of that. And I have just a whole chest of stories that took me down the wrong path for doing that. And after my beloved husband passed away, I was sitting in a doctor's office one day, and he said, live life like you're on vacation. You know, we lived our life as what's the next greatest adventure we can do. And he was, live your life like you're on vacation. And I was like, what? He says, think about it, 70 years compared to eternity. 70 just being a number compared to eternity. It's the blink of an eye. It's as much time, if you want a timeline, as an eyelash. I mean, it's nothing. So while you're here, find some work you want to do that you enjoy doing, because you're just trading your hours for money, because it's a tool here that's needed. And then use that money to do all the things that you want to do. Yes, help people. But if you don't live your life too and find your own joy, you deplete yourself to the point of what's the point of living? You must take care of yourself. You must find the joy every day that you can, even if it's a cup of coffee is all I get today. And I found that when I was homeless.
And you actually got that message from your beloved from the other side while you were sitting in that doctor's office. This was his message to you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was, you know, just have fun in life. You're not there to be beat up, broken down, torn up. You know, can I not get this right? You're getting it right every day that you wake up. Every day. You may be in difficult circumstances, but it's not going to last forever. And all the stories and things that I've been through, and anybody's been through, you're still here. That's what you can say to yourself. You can say nothing else. I'm still here and I made it through all of those. This too shall pass.
Deb, you just delight me. I find you just so awesome. And I'm certain our listeners would want to know how to contact you or be in touch after this interview. What's the best way to be in touch with you?
I think through Facebook, and as Three-Way Living. I have it on Facebook. I just started actually that page. Like I said, I don't advertise or anything. So I just started the Facebook page, and I will be creating a website because it's time for me to now speak about all that I've learned. I've had 60 plus years of learning it all. So I will be doing that, but through email, threewayliving@gmail.com is the easiest way. So, and I'd love to help anybody that feels they want to talk to me, please, absolutely. If you feel it in your gut, just give me a call.
Well, that's awesome, Deb. And Three-Way Living is spelt out with the letters.
It's number three, and then way living. And that is because it's mind, body, spirit. It's the Trinity. It's everything combined. I was born at 3:33 a.m. and threes have been prevalent in my entire life. So that's my nod to I know who I am.
Fantastic, Deb. Thank you so much for sharing with everyone today. And we are so grateful that you were here with us and that you shared all of the different amazing things that you shared with everyone about how to know if they're on the right path for themselves, what the heart star is, and how we're connected. And, some big whys on if we're an empath to actually put ourselves in the equation of life instead of just the other people in front of us. And, you can tell you share from the heart. It's so inspiring. And for those who didn't understand how to observe life from the seventh, they've got that information and how to contact you at the number Three-Way Living at Gmail. So thanks so much, Deb.
Thank you all. It's been such an absolute pleasure, Val.
And I think that was an ode to the motorcycle experience that Deb had.
Ah,
maybe.
there we go.
Well, thank you so much, Deb. Thank you so much, listeners. We really appreciate you all being here. And we're all here for a reason, and that's the You Empath You book. Now, that is the letter U, like the university, empath, EMPATHYOU, BOOK.com. So youempathyoubook.com is where you go on April 28th, 2022, and you grab your 99-cent Kindle copy. There will be an easy click-through link there. Bing, click through, go to Amazon, get your 99-cent Kindle copy. You've got 19 authors sharing their insight, their wisdom. There's tons of tools and tips in the book, and you come back with your receipt number to the website, letter U, empath, YOU, book.com, and put your receipt number in the special spot that says, put your receipt number here. I know it'll have a red arrow and everything. You'll be able to find it. When you put your receipt number in, what you're going to get is all the bonuses for buying the book and helping us become Amazon best-selling authors on April 28th, 2022. How do you remember April 28th? Well, you grab your communication apparatus, whichever one you use. You go to the calendar and you set yourself a calendar event. Wait for it. Put 1, 2, 3 alarms because we're busy people. Start them early in the morning. Have that alarm go off. Get in there, buy your 99-cent Kindle copy. Put the URL, the letter U, empath, EMPATHYOUBOOK.com in there. Click on that. You'll see all the partners offerings. You'll see the link to go to Amazon and get your own Kindle copy of the book for only 99 cents. And you'll be helping us become best-selling authors, and you'll get the word out into the world. Take the time, if you've got it, to watch the other Insight Empath interviews, because everybody has got wonderful things to share with you. We're so grateful and excited that you are here with us, and we are so appreciative of you helping us take that book to #1. Thanks so much. So much aloha.